Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and welcomed guest. Of the individuals sitting in this room, how many of you are aware that 9 out of 10 of you stuttered as a child? If you are a man, quadruple this figure. Now, the majority of you no longer stutter, and you no longer remember stuttering. But James Earl Jones, Joe Biden, Winston Churchill, and John Stossel, these all have continued to battle stuttering throughout their lives. But I challenge you this. The reason these voices resonate is not just in spite of stuttering, but because of stuttering, and because they found their voices. So, how did I find my voice? First is the stage of silence. I know, shocking for some of you to believe. It was a stage of inertia for me. Hardly anybody was aware that I stuttered, simply because I never spoke. I would hunch in the back of the classroom, slumped over. If a professor called on me, I'd pretend I simply didn't know the answer. And walking around like this introductions, I would have ran out. Not walked, but ran. So no one knew I stuttered. And of the very close friends I had, and the family who knew I stuttered, I would hear helpful situations that, even though well-intentioned, well, let's say they didn't work. For example, one of my favorite suggestions I tried firsthand was to speak with my mouth full of marbles. You can imagine what happened. The other helpful suggestions I heard were to slow down, take a deep breath, think about what you're going to say. And my favorite was to relax. It's just speaking. I am relaxed. I wish that was my problem. In fact, when I was in 8th grade, I underwent hypnosis. It was suggested by a family member who believed that the symptomology was related to psychological stress. So I walked out thinking I was cured, and I raised my hand the first time to speak in class. Well, you can imagine what happened then. I walked right out of class, never did know what happened. The second stage was called the coming of age. I went from someone caught up in a neurological fire of activity in my mind, not understanding it, to someone who began to understand her stuttering. I went through the successful stuttering management program. Some of you will see the binder I have here. Shockingly, we had to walk up to total strangers and say, "Hi, my name is Meera, and I am a stutterer." They called it letting your stuttering out. Are you crazy? It was the most difficult, most frightening thing I'd ever done, even over skydiving. But if I hadn't gone through that, I never would be standing up before you today among such great speakers, and I never would have become an attorney. So I began to accept stuttering as part of who I was, and not the leader of my zest. Now I'm at the new frontier. I have the world open before me. As an attorney, it helps me have a greater sense of compassion for people, which God knows attorneys should have, right? And it's inspired me to motivate other people, no matter what shortcomings or obstacles they may face, to go ahead and try anyway. So thank you so much for this opportunity to be here today, and I thank you for your evaluations, and again, the opportunity to speak before you. And thank you for allowing me to share my journey for the way that I found my voice.